Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the AM News on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times channel 276. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has urged African nations to take control of their mineral resources and reform the global financial system that has long exploited the continent. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, Tinubu made at the second African Mineral Strategy Group High-Level Roundtable on Critical Mineral Development in New York, alongside an 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly. In a statement released by Senior Special Assistant administration's commitment to constitutional reform that will strengthen Nigeria's democracy, promote justice and guarantee
President Tinubu, represented by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, described the exercise as a golden opportunity to advance governance and nation building. The President commended the House of Representatives Committee on Constitution Review for engaging citizens, political parties, civil society and traditional institutions in the amendment process.
The ongoing process of each amendment provides us with yet another golden opportunity to strengthen our institutions, deepen federalism, guarantee fundamental rights, and promote justice, equity, and accountability across all spheres of national life.
Also addressing the hearing, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, said the review marks a defining moment in Nigeria's democratic journey, pledging that lawmakers will not delay passage of the proposed amendments.
The Reserved Seats for Women proposal will create additional seats in the National Assembly and state assemblies to ensure that every state and senatorial district has women's voice in lawmaking. This is not tokenism, but a constitutional mechanism to accelerate gender inclusion.
Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, who chairs the review committee, disclosed that 87 amendment bills are on the table, ranging from electoral reforms and state policing to local government autonomy and gender inclusion. If ratified by at least 24 state assemblies, the reforms would represent the most sweeping constitutional overhaul since 1999.
Today, let us honor that noble tradition. Let us rise above the narrow confines of ethnicity, narrow confines of religion, narrow confines of region and language, and embrace our shared destiny as Nigerians. Let us together craft a constitution that will be a legacy of unity, a constitution that will be a legacy of justice, a constitution that will be a legacy of progress for generations yet unborn.
Also, traditional rulers who renewed their agitations for a constitutional rule clarified that the motive is not to hijack the functions of elected leaders, but to serve as a bridge between the government and the governed. Representatives of women groups also reiterated their demand for increased representation in the parliament and executive councils across the tiers.
The level of governance and the people who are governed, no link. Policies are being prepared, programs are being prepared, but implementation of these programs and policies cannot go down because no link. So we are now urging the authorities, especially this committee, to ensure that this gap is being bridged.
The National Assembly says final harmonized version of the amendments will be published before voting begins, with leaders urging citizens to stay engaged in shaping Nigeria's democratic future. Aniete Patrick, reporting for Global TV.
After months of political tension in Rivers State, Osman Alaya Fubara says he has finally reconciled with his predecessor, Nyesom Wike. The peace move follows a private meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa. Our State House correspondent has the details. We'll bring you that report in our subsequent bulletin. Natasha Akpoti-Oduakan has finally officially resumed her duties at the National Assembly after 6 months suspension. The Kogi Central lawmaker walked back into the Senate amid cheers from supporters waving banners and chanting songs of solidarity. This came shortly after Senate authorities reopened her previously sealed office. Topsy Gimba completes the story.
Kogi Central lawmaker Natasha Akpoti-Oduakan was suspended in March following a heated clash with Senate President Godswill Akpabio, who accused her of unparliamentary conduct. Speaking to reporters after reclaiming her seat, the senator declared she has no apology to render. She described her return as a triumph for democracy principles and stood firm on her conduct during the incident that led to her suspension.
Sometimes it's good to put the institutions to test. We can't cow down in the face of injustice. No one is more Nigerian than us. Senator Akpabio is not more of a senator than I am. He's not a governor of this place, and he treated me as if I was his servant or I was a domestic staff in his house. It's very unfortunate that at this time, after so many years of democracy, we would have a National Assembly be run by such dictatorship. It's totally unacceptable. As for me, I'm glad to be here, and even though we have been illegally suspended, no day have I hesitated in effectively carrying out my duties as a senator of Kogi Central to the very best of my capacity.
Natasha Akpoti-Oduakan's return marks a significant moment of reconciliation and a statement on upholding democracy within the Senate. Topsy Gimba, Global Television News.
After the flag off of the Mabushi Road, the Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike inspected ongoing projects in Abuja, which include the construction of the Court of Appeal, Abuja Division, and 40 judges' quarters. Kabir Hassan was there for Global TV.
The inspection visit is part of the efforts by the FCTA to ensure quality and timely delivery of key projects in the FCT. The minister noted that the Court of Appeal building and judges' quarters, when completed, will strengthen the judicial system by providing a more conducive environment for justice delivery in the nation's capital, while expressing their satisfaction with the speed of the project.
Appeal that in the next legal year, we pray that occasion will be taking place in their new division. Having got there today, I'm afraid, I'm really not too satisfied that the contractor will meet up. If you ask me, am I happy? Certainly not. But not being happy will not solve the problem.
On the side of the housing project, the minister expressed satisfaction while stating the project, as promised, would be completed by January 2026.
We're here where you have 20 units of these 5-bedroom duplexes for the FCT High Court. We have the one of the Court of Appeal, 10 units, and here we are standing is for the Federal High Court. We are impressed with the speed of work. The duration is for them to hand over by January 2026, complete furnishing. I believe with where they are going, they may be able to hand over before that January.
With projects like this, the FCTA says it is not just improving infrastructure, but also laying the foundation of a stronger judicial system in the federal capital. Kabir Hassan reporting for Global TV News.
Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun says Nigeria's security challenges require police leaders who can think fast, act smarter, and adapt quicker. He said this while declaring open a one-day executive workshop for top commanders of the force in Abuja. Security correspondent Kike Lomo Okere completes the story.
Criminal groups from terrorist networks are becoming more sophisticated, often using technology and cross-border alliance to expand their reach. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, urged commanders to adopt leadership that combines speed with strategy and patience with imagination. The police chief stressed that modern security threats are unpredictable and constantly evolving, requiring foresight, innovation, and stronger collaboration.
That is why this team has been carefully chosen to prepare you as leaders to anticipate, to adapt, and to act decisively in an environment where hesitation is costly and speed is survival.
The Inspector General of Police insisted that the workshop must not end as theory, but result in reform that build a more agile, intelligence-driven police force Nigerians can trust.
That is why this team has been carefully chosen to prepare you as leaders to anticipate, to adapt, and to act decisively in an environment where hesitation is costly and speed is survival.
The president of the Society for Peace, Study and Practice pledged support for police reform and called the initiative a major step towards repositioning the force as catalyst for peace and justice.
And today, we are privileged to engage with the top echelon of the Nigerian Police Force. Furthermore, during this period, approximately 100 officers have joined SPSP. And the highest and the level of leadership of the Nigerian police that are engaged civil society and those that have expertise and intervention experiences to help you do your job.
The event drew senior police officers, security experts, and peace practitioners, marking what stakeholders describe as a critical moment for leadership transformation in Nigerian police force. Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
The Executive Secretary of the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, Dr. Abubakar Adamu Daban, has begun oversight visits to institutions under the council. During his visit to the National Institute for Oceanography and Marine Research in Lagos, Dr. Daban praised staff performance and assured them of President Tinubu's support in addressing welfare and funding challenges. He gave their similar assurance at their Federal College of Fishery and Marine Technology, where he commended the school's progress and expand academic programs and facilities. Dr. Daban says the council remains committed to strengthening research and staff development, institutional growth in the agricultural sector. You're watching the live broadcast of the AM News. AM News returns after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now let's take you to the world of business, where the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has reduced the country's interest rate to 27% for the first time in 2025. Governor of the Central Bank, Olaye, during a press briefing after the 302nd Monetary Policy Committee meeting in Abuja, also noted that the reduction was due to consistent deflation recorded in the country after 3 consecutive pauses in rates. As major oil unions raised the alarm over the federal government's plan to sell stakes in joint venture oil assets and amend the Petroleum Industry Act, the union that the sale of oil assets could the nation's economy and endanger its future. Energy and oil correspondent has the details.
The Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, who chairs the House Ad Hoc Committee on Budget Implementation, disclosed that the Accountant General confirmed government's approval of over 2.4 trillion naira for contractors. He added that the Minister of Finance had also signed off on an additional 760 billion naira, raising the total package to about 3.1 trillion naira.
One of the things they took home also was my charge to them, asking them to please. On the part of government, we are putting the pressure on government to pay up. But on their part, they should ensure that what government is paying for is a job well done.
The House, however, is demanding the spreadsheets of beneficiaries to ensure payments went to contractors who actually delivered projects, not just paper certificates.
The government is not paying for a piece of paper of certificate of completion when the jobs are not done. We told them it would be wickedness to claim that the hospital had been built.
Contractors had staged protests earlier this month over delayed fees, forcing the House to broker a truce. So far, about 25% of payments have reportedly been made, while other commitments are being processed. The committee has fixed another appraisal session for 5th October to further track compliance from both governments and contractors. Aniete Patrick, reporting for Global TV.
The House of Representatives is turning its light on payment to contractors worth trillions of naira. Lawmakers says they want full transparency over the disbursement of funds already approved by the federal government. National Assembly correspondent Aniete Patrick has the rest of the story. We'll bring you that story in a subsequent bulletin. Now to the foreign scene, where Uganda's long-running president, Yoweri Museveni, has been officially designated as the incumbent candidate for the country's 2026 elections. Following his confirmation by the Electoral Commission, President Museveni vowed to continue empowering the middle class, investors local and foreign, stating that the local class will also be carried along. Uyi Agbomofuebe reports.
The 80-year-old had been widely expected to try and extend his almost 4-decade rule over the East African country. The opposition has faced a mounting crackdown ahead of the general election in January, with leading activists and politicians intimidated, abducted and detained. However, his nomination is now official.
I, Justice Byabakama Mugenzi Simon, being the returning officer for the nomination of presidential candidates, declare Museveni Yoweri Kaguta Kaguta a duly nominated candidate in respect of the presidential elections 2026.
Museveni assured Ugandan people of reforms in what seemed like a mini manifesto, affirming to continue on same policy path his government has been on in about 40 years.
So this is a double mission in the coming Kisanja. Continue empowering the middle class, the investors, whether local or from outside, but make sure that the masses are all involved.
Once hailed for his commitment to good governance, the former rebel leader has crushed any opposition and tweaked the constitution to allow himself multiple times. Uyi Agbomofuebe reporting for Global TV News.
United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has expressed concern over the move towards multipolarity without strong multilateral institutions, which creates risks similar to those Europe faced during World II, War I. Speaking in New York at the UN 80th anniversary, he warned that the institution faced unprecedented threats to its founding principle. Guterres cited ongoing crises where civilians are targeted and international law trampled in Gaza, Ukraine, Sudan, and beyond, while poverty and hunger rise globally. Now to the world of sport. Nigeria finished 27th on the medal table at the World Athletics Championship in Tokyo, ending the competition with one silver medal at the event, set new records for global participation and reach. The country's sole medal came from Tobi Amusan, who won silver in the women's 100-meter hurdle to continue her consistency as Nigeria's most reliable international performer. The Sports Writers Association of Nigeria has inaugurated a local organizing committee ahead of its Demand Jubilee anniversary. The inauguration took place at the association's National Secretariat in Abuja. Swan President Isaiah Benjamin charged members of the committee to deliver on their mandate with unity and commitment, assuring them of the Secretariat's full support. Days to the commencement of the second phase of the 2025 Nigeria Basketball Premier League season, Rivers Hoopers head coach Ogo Otuado has set his sight on reaching the playoff. During the group phase of the 2025 Nigerian Basketball Premier League season, Rivers Hoopers were limited to a less than ideal 2-game as Delta Force and Oluyole Warriors selected against participating in the league, leaving the Kingmen and Kwara Falcons as the only team in the Atlantic Conference Group B. And that's it on AM News. Before we go, a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Many thanks for watching.